But who I really want to talk to is Blu Cantrell. So this is my public appeal. Blu. The first Blu. Not they daughter Blu. Blu Cantrell. You were singing, boo. And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blu, it's time to talk. It's time for you to sing again. Because I know you still got the chops. You got the gift. Just like me. Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me. Just like he did L. Just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly. Just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah.
So, let's be honest for a second. Did the industry really just pull Blu Cantrell out of hiding after years of silence, just to let her name be dragged back into the orbit of Beyonce and Jay-Z? And I'm not talking about the old surface-level story of rivalry or chart competition. I'm talking about the darker claims that keep resurfacing, the ones suggesting that careers didn't just fade, they were erased. According to early 2000s music charts and label rosters, Blu and Beyonce were rising at the exact same time, both positioned as breakout female stars in a ruthless industry that only crowns one queen at a time. Based on Blu's later interviews, she believed her own record label, Arista Records, failed to renew her contract while she was still profitable, which raises a cold, structural question. How does a company forget one of its most visible artists? Psychologically, this resonates because people don't trust accidents when power is involved. They assume intent. Blu later admitted she didn't understand the business, that she lacked guidance, and that her own lawyer ended up representing the opposing side, which she described as a conflict of interest that left her financially exposed. That's not mystical, that's institutional failure. But here's where the story mutates into something more dangerous. Fans noticed visual similarities between Beyonce and Jay-Z's Bonnie and Clyde and Blu's earlier Roundup, and then came the lyrical overlap between Beyonce's Baby Boy and Blu's Breathe, both involving the same collaborator, Sean Paul. Cold analysis says shared producers and trends explain that. Emotionally, though, people read it as replacement. Now, critics will argue this was simply coincidence, market timing, and creative convergence. And statistically, that's the most likely explanation. But that still fails to explain why every time Blu's name comes up, it's framed not as a business casualty, but as a warning story about what happens when you stand too close to the throne. And that's where this stops being about music and starts being about power, who rises, who disappears, and why audiences feel certain it was never random.
I think they're in love.
Is politics speaking?
No, I really do think they're in love. I have a big crush on him now. I'll tell you that much.
Did you fuck him?
Still have a crush on him now.
Yes,
No,
you did.
no, I didn't. No, I'm really selective about it.
What?
Really, I really like him though, and I don't care. I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him though.
If he came in right now and we were all not here.
What?
I'm just saying, you're in New York.
Yeah. Okay. And what?
And you ran into him and everything was right. Would you make that play?
I wouldn't turn it down. Let's just put it that way.
What made the story ignite was the timing. Because after Blu Cantrell spoke with Wendy Williams, her career didn't slowly fade. It abruptly stopped, and that's where the retaliation theory was born, according to entertainment coverage from that period. Fans immediately link her honesty to her disappearance, framing it as proof that truth-tellers get punished. Based on long-circulating industry rumors, people claim Jay-Z once favored Blu before choosing Beyonce, turning a personal choice into a power move. Psychologically, this resonates because audiences understand love and betrayal better than contracts and radio politics. Then in 2012, when Blu was reportedly hospitalized in Santa Monica after a public breakdown, the narrative shifted from gossip to tragedy. Cold analysis says mental health crises don't equal conspiracies, and no verified evidence ties the Carters to her condition. Now, critics will argue this is coincidence and illness, not control, and that argument matters. But emotionally, people don't remember disclaimers. They remember collapse, and that's why Blu's story became a warning instead of a footnote.
one could ever compare to Beyonce. Let's just say the name that we're discussing. No one could compare. No one will for a very, very, very long time. And that was never my aim either. However,
it was framed that way.
Well, no, it was absolutely framed that way. It was written that way. Was not my lyrics, was not my writing.
So you had to pay the penalty.
Was not my doing, but I had to pay the penalty. And then I'm caught, like, do I tell the truth? Do I expose them early in my career? I'm super young, super new. This is my first album. I'm so excited. It just soiled my whole dream.
Look at the case of Carrie Hilson in the 2000s, once a hit maker, then suddenly absent. After lyrics interpreted as shading Beyonce, online backlash exploded, and her career stalled for nearly a decade. Data from digital era fandom shows coordinated outrage can cripple an artist faster than label politics ever could. She later described the emotional toll during an interview tied to Steve Harvey's daytime show, illustrating how public punishment works even without official blacklists. Now, critics will argue she simply miscalculated creatively, and that still fails to explain why the punishment felt so total and so personal.
I hit rock bottom a few times.
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to. And that's the thing.
And I'm crawling back to walking in my purpose.
Exactly. Walking in your power.
My power, yeah.
In your power, exactly.
Yeah.
Instead
and
of giving
my
away.
gifts.
You know,
Yeah.
you didn't have a balancing system.
Yeah.
You didn't have that balancing system.
It's true. I think I had to give up music for a while. I stepped away. I thought it would just be a year.
Other names have folded into the same mythology: Anne-Marie, Desiree, Jennifer Armour, Tiara Marie, MIA. Each used as proof of supposed pattern where influence replaces competition. The story casts Beyonce not as an artist but as a system, accused of absorbing or erasing rivals. According to fan-compiled timelines, similarities in sound or aesthetics are treated as theft rather than trend convergence. Psychologically, audiences crave a mastermind behind decline because randomness feels unsatisfying, but strategically, it ignores how labels, radio, and algorithms reward repetition and punish risk regardless of who is on top.
Drip myself in blood and cover myself in swimming goop, in black goop, can like wear devil horns to sell a record. Fuck that. Or be a witch, or be that, all of that.
Then the narrative darkens further with claims that some competitors never lived long enough to speak, amplified by voices like Jaguar Wright, who has accused the Carters of deadly power. These allegations spread because they convert celebrity into mythic villainy, turning business conflicts into life and death drama. Cold, surgical reality. No court ruling, no police report, no verified investigation has ever proven such claims. Yet emotionally, stories of secret bodies survive because they match a deeper fear that wealth equals immunity.
Do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices.
Another layer paints Beyonce as a kind of high priestess of the industry, controlling access to success through ritual and loyalty at a human level. This resonates because people explain invisible power with spiritual language when contracts and capital feel abstract. According to sociological studies of celebrity culture, fans turn stars into symbols of good or evil depending on who wins and who disappears. Now, critics will argue this is just metaphor, and that's still
as you guys know, Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is the daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch.
The most extreme example came from former drummer Kimberly Thompson, who filed legal complaints claiming surveillance and mystical control over her life. Her statements describe spells, financial sabotage, and personal loss, transforming a workplace dispute into supernatural warfare. Cold analysis shows courts dismiss these claims as unfounded, but emotionally they fed the image of an all-seeing star who destroys defectors. This is where real versus fake collapses into performance versus belief, and audiences choose whichever story feels more dramatic.
She went and the girl cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drunk. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her while she was asleep. Snacking on his people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too.
Recently, online threads even claim Beyonce sacrificed 16 unborn children, tying this to lyrics like 16 carriages, while others say she's racing toward escape, driven by pressure since 2022 to release albums, tour, and launch businesses nonstop. According to industry trends, relentless output usually signals contracts and financial targets, not secret fear. Still, psychologically, fans read exhaustion as confession and ambition as desperation. If this continues, the next phase of celebrity culture won't be about music. It will be about credibility. So the real question is, are we watching a woman trapped by fame, or a myth built because the world can't accept a human explanation for power?